Hi folks, Tickles from Chalgyr's Game Room here, and welcome to Witchfire. I'd like to first thank the astronauts for providing a free copy of Witchfire via the Epic Games Store for the purposes of this preview. From the game's description, Witchfire is dark fantasy with guns. Witchfire is a first-person shooter from the creative leads behind Painkiller and Bulletstorm. A unique blend of Souls-like extraction and roguelite gameplay, Witchfire offers a challenging but satisfying gameplay experience with multiple roads to victory. Witchfire is wicked good fun. Fast-paced and beautiful, Witchfire by the Astronauts is a snappy little extraction shooter that has recently been getting a bit more attention. Currently available on the Epic Games Store, Witchfire puts you in the shoes of a prayer after the end of a war that saw witches defeat humanity. Prayers are a special soldier of faith charged with venturing forth into the wilds to hunt down artifacts and do what you can to survive the onslaught of the witches. Combining roguelite elements with the frenetic combat of an extraction shooter, Witchfire managed to come out with something truly unique in a post-Tarkov world. Though it's still in early access, Witchfire is perhaps one of the best optimized games I've played in years. Gorgeous, responsive, and simply fun to play, Witchfire is most certainly one to keep your eye on. Not being the biggest fan of PvP, though I'll throw down in games where PvP can happen but isn't the focus, think Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous, but I do prefer cooperative play over competitive, I was fairly late to the extraction shooter genre. I've always loved the idea of an extraction shooter, diving into ruins or wild territory with nothing more than what's on your back, scrounge, scavenge, survive, and extract while gathering resources to improve your base defenses. One of the biggest struggles for me, though, was finding a title that had more of a solo or co-op PvE experience that ticked most of those boxes. While I'll absolutely adore everything about Zero Sievert, Witchfire is scratching the extraction itch in all of the best ways. Given the early stages of development, world crafting in Witchfire is currently fairly minimal. However, I think that what's there is the start of something wonderful. The setting, having a post-apocalyptic Salem witch trials gone awry mixed with the frenetic, almost Souls-like combat, actually marries the puritanical plus Inquisition themes and designs them really well. At first I was a bit skeptical of the aesthetic, as I'm not a big fan of the pilgrim-esque designs of the 17th century Americas, but the dark, almost mystically toxic designs found throughout the world make it weirdly inviting. It may be because amidst the open corridors of the map, the game feels wildly like Yharnam from Bloodborne. The feeling is just right and continues to pull you in. As you work through a run, clearing the various spaces, a golden glimmer appears that feels inviting and warm, but then it dawns on you that the witch's attention is starting to become more focused on you. When that happens, all hell breaks loose and it's a mad scramble to the nearest portal. There is a simple darkness to the environmental world building found in Witchfire that is both new and nostalgic at the same time, so it will be with bated breath that I wait for more lore from the astronauts about the Witchfire. With the atmosphere established by the deceptively foreboding world design and environmental storytelling, the astronauts draped a contradictively bright veneer over the world. While not as bright as title-like Battlestate games Escape from Tarkov, Witchfire's palette is clean, clear, and absolutely stunning to see. I think it's important to note, though, that I am quite colorblind, so I do use reshade to adjust the colors a little. However, it's honestly not needed. There is a smoothness to the art in Witchfire, and I'm not referring to the weird, smoothed-out effect that occurs with like an AI-generated content. This is more that the huts and the wheelbarrows, the shrines, the chests, and the trees all smoothly interconnect to create this clean, flowing design that is mesmerizing at times. Pairing the smooth and vibrant aesthetic with the sickly black and red effects caused by the Witchfire creates a striking difference between the corporeal and the mystic. It's honestly one of my favorite looking games right now, and I am eternally sad that there isn't a photo mode given my love for all things virtual photography. I will always encourage single-player titles to offer tools for players to show off or show appreciation or pride and accomplishment with a photo mode. So hopefully, one might come. One can hope. The United States Navy SEALs have a message that they ingrain into their members. Quote, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, end quote. And Witchfire is an excellent representation of that creed. Motion, while it is quick, near Twitch shooter levels of speed at times, but there is a fluidity to it that slows the action down. When first dropping in, there is this sense of motion that makes you feel, I gotta go fast, I gotta go fast. But then you start moving smoothly through the level, and you start to realize that movement feels much more like Mirror's Edge in Doom 2016 had a witch-filled child. This is by no means a bad thing. It adds a weight to your movement that feels good. It's slow enough that when you use your short dodge or your double jump to evade an attack, you feel rewarded, but not easily done. Combine that with the meaty thunk when your firearms, specifically Hunger, a revolver, which is most certainly my favorite, as it hits like a Mack truck and just sounds mean, or the sizzling crackle you get when you're hurling a fireball, and it almost feels like a dance. Once you begin to get the rhythm of your weapons down, and you begin to pair them with the optimal distances for damage, Witchfire truly begins to sing. And with the punchy sounding firearms and incredibly eerily sounding witch voice, seriously man, its deep growl is just amazing. However, for all of the good that I have with Witchfire, sound is where I feel that we could see greater improvement. In part due to some technical issues, there are plenty of times when the music would just start to swell and feel all, ooh, here we go again. Kind of like boss music, and then you'd look around or hunt around for 4 or 5 minutes and not an enemy in sight. It's also fairly typical for modern extraction shooters or tactical shooters to have audio cues for when you're running low on ammo in your magazine, and Witchfire is no different. However, the weird click-click that appears as the magazine or your revolver is about to run out is just plasticky. It doesn't sound right given the punch that the firearms can have and the fireballs or the special effects that you're taking off. It feels plastically, and this click-click is really jarring. However, given the early access nature of Witchfire, I'm absolutely confident that the astronauts will continue to iterate on their sound design, and it will be improved over time. And while the audio cues may not be where I want them to be, and the game is beautifully optimized, or that there aren't quite as many maps or levels available yet in its early access, Witchfire by the Astronauts is impressive, engrossive in its design, and one of my more exciting titles. It may be the thick atmosphere of fear that's permeating every step of your prayer, or the sickeningly red witchfire that you collect. I don't really know, but I love it as it has its hooks deep in me. The snappy gunplay, wonderful optimization, with interesting environmental storytelling and a theme not often seen in games these days. Witchfire is just fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to what the astronauts bring to us in the future. Thank you all. This is Tickles from Chalgyr's Game Room, and have a great day.